Nature will take its course. Welcome to the Results Kill Excuses show. I'm your host, Greg. Been getting on here talking about life. This life and your life and all of life. What is life? I was just outside with a thunderstorm, a rainstorm, and then the sun started setting. It was the most beautiful thing where there was like this vortex. Like it was literally just chaos of thunder and lightning and rain. And then the sun started to set and it literally just like cleared open and just this huge rainbow popped out. And it was just magical to be outside in that energy and just experiencing life, kicking off my shoes, kicking off my socks, let my feet get some dirt under them, earthing, grounding, connecting to God, to nature. Do you ever allow yourself to connect to nature? Or are you just too caught up with everything else going on around you? You ain't got no time for that. Time for the nature. It takes time. Lots of time in nature. I can tell you that after I hit rock bottom, I can tell you before I hit rock bottom, like growing up as a kid, growing up here in northern New Mexico, I mean, I spent most of my summers, most of the warm summers, and even the cold winters, lots of snow. New Mexico is an interesting place, very wild still. But I spent so much time as a kid out in nature, whether it was skiing or fishing or camping or off-roading, hiking. So many fond memories out in nature, sledding. Maybe that's why I still love it to this day. But I will tell you, there did come a time that I stopped. It was when I was really just feeling depressed and down. Like I really just stopped spending time in nature. I was just too in my head, too in my feelings to really even just. And it seems that the more and more healthier I got, the more healing that took place in my life. And again, I'm always talking about spiritual healing, right? Mental healing, emotional healing, and physical healing. It's not just spiritual. It's not just mental. There's the emotion, and then the physical is this body. Like they all have to get in aligned. And that's something that I really learned along this journey. I remember when I first started realizing, man, I am so out of shape. I'm so fat and unhealthy, unmotivated, like low self-esteem and low self-image. And guess what? Nature was taking its course then, right? Because that's where I allowed for my focus to go. My focus went to my sadness. My focus went to my guilt. My focus was on my shame. My focus was on the loss that I had experienced when I lost my business, my home, and racked up my second DWI, and just the dizziness of all that upheaval in life. And so nature was taking its course. Right? I was over drinking, smoking way too much weed, like all the time, like losing a sense of reality, of responsibility. And so nature took its course. I had to hit a rock bottom. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be the last one that I had after my second DWI. First one in 1998, second one in 2009. No, take it back. 2007. Yeah, 2007. That was the year my daughter was born. So she was just so tiny when I got my DWI. I remember my wife at the time, now my ex, they came and bailed me out of the county jail in Orange County, California. And, you know, to see her with my daughter in a stroller, you talk about being the fucking captain of the losers bracket. That was me, man. That was me. Nature had taken its course. I had chalked up a huge L. And I felt so angry at that time because that second DWI, it was like the biggest setup, right? This shit, you can't even make this shit up. How it was scripted. It was like a total setup. You know, it wasn't like me just being irresponsible and driving down the road. Like I was trying to get help and I thought I was going to get jumped out of place. And I literally got a DWI in a parking lot. So embarrassing. So fucking angry at the time. I literally got sober my second time. Well, that would have been my first time. My first DWI, I didn't really get sober. Like they sent me to this thing called PCS 1000 in 1998, and I was just too young. I wasn't even old enough to be drinking. But alcohol was so easy to get. I was already in the military, and that first one was kind of like a slap on the wrist. It didn't really stick. The second one fucking chapped my ass, man, because of how I felt like I had been set up. I was wronged, but everything happens for us. And that's one of the hardest things to truly hear when we feel like we've been fucked over. If you feel like you've been fucked over by life, it's the hardest thing to hear. It happened for me. Fuck that shit. This didn't happen for me. This is bullshit. And you feel like that. You feel entitled. You feel like, you know, the world's against you. God's against you. And it's just because the mindset is, did it happen to you or for you? To you or for you? That's the spectrum. And when things happen for you in the moment, it never feels good. It never feels good like that. You feel terrible. You feel victimized, like you've been wronged, even though, you know, I mean, yeah, that was just so terrible, man, to think, what the fuck? I'm going to jail. I didn't even get to beat anybody's ass for wanting to start shit with me tonight. And I'm going to jail in the parking lot. This is fucking crazy. DWI in the parking lot, trying to get my wife to pick me up, calling for her to pick me up, trying to get my buddy. I had really no intention of going anywhere, but I had this mob that wanted to fucking throw down. And, you know, I guess I would have been a lot better off if I had just thrown down. Yeah, because that would have, at least I wouldn't have been in the vehicle, right? Trying to get someone to pick me up, or could even have walked back to my shop. So how has nature taken its course with you? And you could almost spin that into how has God intervened in your life, disciplined you in ways that doesn't feel good, but you know it's for the best? If I look back, I have so much guilt and shame about 2 DWIs. Fucking 2-time loser. I'm telling you guys, man, I'm the team captain of this shit. I know what I'm talking about. And I love it when I love being this vulnerable, this transparent about my story. One, it gives me power. And two, I hope that it helps you to feel like maybe your situation isn't as bad as you think it is. But 3, it also gives you an opportunity to see where you lie. Are you judger? Do you judge me? I always say, man, if you're still judging it, it's in you. It's in you if you're judging it. And so I'm empowered. I'm wanting to inspire others to have hope that, man, maybe your situation ain't so bad. Maybe you can turn it around. Unfortunately, though, nature's going to have to take its course with so many people. You're going to have to hit rock bottom. Gravity, right? That's a gravity thing. Like when you're going down, you're going to hit. And sometimes nature takes its course and you don't get a second chance. Like you crash and burn and it's done. That's it. Game, set, match. On to the next life, which is something else I kind of believe. And yet, an evening like tonight was like magical, man. It was just so magical to be connected with nature and God and the light and just this harmony and this like theater being played out felt just so incredible that for just a moment it makes it all make sense. And it's not even just for a moment. It just captures it as to say, hey, everything that's happened is perfect. It's perfectly the way it needed to be. Because would I be where I'm at right now, living my best life, like having turned my whole entire life around from literally being 2 DWIs, a domestic violence arrest, like total like community wide humiliation, having my name smeared all over the fucking place as a wife beater, because I was running city council elections at the time. And yet it wasn't even like the story wasn't even real time. It was literally like 10 years prior. But the news and the system was they needed to craft it as if somehow I was doing that shit right then and there. There's no redemption in society. I think that's why so many people are afraid, because society is brutal, man. It's brutal. It doesn't give you second chances. If you get caught, you're fucked. And yet even that has been protection, right? There's been times where I've met people, women in particular, like dating, and they'll look up my past. Everybody kind of does that now, and they'll see these articles and see this chapter of my life, and they swerve hard, and that's cool. If you're watching this, look it up. It's that is the situation. And yet I have still found some really incredible connections regardless. I mean, if someone that's just how we can be. We don't believe in second chances. That's why I think so many people are so afraid to admit that they need help. See, I think that's the other piece, is that so many people are in denial because they do not want society, the community, the social circle to have judgment on them. You don't want to reveal weakness or like there's something wrong with you, of fear. And underneath that is definitely a fear of being rejected, a fear of being abandoned by your social connections. And there's such a negative stigma about getting help. And yet every single person on this planet can greatly benefit from therapy, could greatly benefit from sobriety. You could say, oh, well, I don't drink that much, and it's like, yeah, double whatever you say you don't drink that much. Triple it, quadruple it. Yeah. We are such big liars to ourselves. I don't really drink that much. I don't have a problem. It's like, but you've been drinking consistently, a consistent pattern for literally like 20, 30, 40 years. I don't got a problem. Just haven't done life really without it for 40 years, 20 years, 30 years with literally like a binge drinking pattern. No problems here. It's just because that's how I have fun. And it's like, carry on with your business. I really have nothing for you if that's how if you just think that that's normal. I'm a huge advocate that that's not normal behavior, that whenever it started, it gave you relief from something you were experiencing and you haven't been able to kick it. You don't have the willpower, the emotional capacity to do life without it. Unless it's for like a Lent for a couple months, right? And then you're right back on it. And what's funny is even those people that do that, like for the little religious windows, you already know you feel so much better, but yet you can't wait, right? You can't wait for that Easter Sunday to just get all smashed. But nature's going to take its course. And when I say nature, I believe that God is starting to ratchet down, right, your liberty in terms of feeling good, in terms of, I believe that God has the power, right, to take away your pleasure in pursuing whatever it is that gives you a sense of false relief, a false sense of relief, a false sense of happiness, a false sense of peace, a false sense of this is what life is all about. This is the highlight of my life, was being the fucking at the party of all parties. Like I think that what happens is these other things start to close in, and it's like we can't keep just doing this thing because this is really taking us out, right? And all this other shit starting to happen that you can't multitask, you can't do this thing on this thing, and so you have to like pick and choose what the fuck are you gonna do. And it's tragic that every single day 2,000 men choose death over dealing with life, immersing themselves in nature, in the storms, facing the storm, facing the adversity, facing the shame, facing the humiliation, facing whatever they need to face in order to take extreme ownership of their life and start getting some things back on track. I mean, so many people are hurting right now, but it's total denial. And yet nature's going to take its course. You're going to continue running to the thing that you run to, and it's going to continue to not give you a return on that investment, whether that investment is energetic, whether that investment is literally time, whether that investment is money, or all three. It's going to continue to give you less and less and less and less. And yet, I think that's by design, that we had a huge opportunity during the pandemic to really get our shit together. And a lot of people, y'all freaked the fuck out. The COVID-20, right, was the pounds, all this extra weight. I ran into someone the other day that was just it's just a very athletic person. And I could just feel the guilt and shame on this person because they didn't even want to acknowledge me, right? Because of the condition that they were in physically. And obviously the physical is the manifestation of the internal you guys. I mean, drinking and drugs accelerates your aging. Do you realize that, right? Like, that's not news. Like, when you say, "Hey, I'm just like, I'm just a normal drinker," any amount on a regular basis of drinking alcohol is going to accelerate your aging. Like, I see so many people I know, and they just look old. I'm 45 years young, and I haven't been to any of these class reunion things. There's some people that still look good, but man, there's a lot of people, they don't look so good. And there's a lot of people that aren't even with us no more because they couldn't take it. They had to hit that delete button, and that's a damn shame. But that's nature taking its course. And you have a decision every single day you wake up. Are you going to do life on life's terms and make the most out of every situation? Or are you just doing this thing called life for shits and giggles, to be a spectator, to just sit through it and figure out, like, if it's just a movie, you're just sitting there and just watching everything happen and unfold, and you don't really know what to do. So you're just going to keep sitting back and just saying, I don't know, fuck it. Kind of fuck it, huh? Yeah, there's a lot of people with the fuck it mindset right now. And that's a real rebellious mindset. That's a real I've been hurt. I don't know what the fuck to do. I've been dealt a bad hand. It's a victim mindset. You're so empowered. You have everything you need right now to totally turn around your whole entire life. It's hard to imagine that it's possible because you've probably put yourself in such a bad position, but you could literally change anything in your life. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take some effort, and it's going to take some discipline, and it's going to take sacrifice, and it's going to take changing things. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. But if you're willing to take all of these things on and start to really believe that the greatest days are still ahead, ain't nothing gonna stop you. Nothing stopped me. Everything wanted to stop me. Even a day like today, all these weird, man, I was just like, all these weird emotional things. And yet today was an incredible day, right? It was an incredible day because I shipped out the first orders of this, the Self-Discovery First 5 Courses workbook. I mean, that's incredible. That's a monumental day. And yet underneath the surface, man, I had all these different feelings and desires and insecurities popping up. And I don't know where they were coming from. I still don't fully know where it was coming from, but I made it through it. I made it through it. And I even got on here. And I'm really proud of myself. And I'm really proud of you if you're willing to, one, listen to this message, and two, start looking at some ways that you can switch up. But you're going to need some help. You can't do that. You shouldn't try and do it in alone. You'll be doing it over and over and over again. I'm here to help. If that's something that you're ready for, I obviously advocate for professional therapy as another avenue. And if you're new here, right, all you got to do is type in those 3 magic words into the results, into the App Store. Results kill excuses. And there's some incredible kind of first steps. Like, if this is something that you're even just pondering, like, it doesn't even matter where you're at. The courses, the first 5 courses that I have on the app, I mean, it's all self-discovery work. It's not like, oh, I'm a total fuck up, and let me admit that and figure it out. No, it's all about improving the relationship you have with yourself. That is what those courses are about. It's just looking in the mirror and having like a structure to like focus in on different aspects of who you are, and you get to choose what you want to do with that. But you're not going to figure it out in your head. Nature's going to take its course if you keep trying to figure out everything in your head. And I'm a huge advocate for writing the shit down. So I shipped out the first few of these. I would love to send you one of these. There's a couple really cool bonuses, gifts within that you don't even have to buy this. You can download the worksheets online, and I'll probably start showing that more, the app, and giving you guys some familiarity with the show here. But today I needed to get this done. It's a part of my commitment, not only to myself, but to you, to people that do comment down below and say, "Hey man, like, yeah, I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing." Like, I can't even tell you how much those little shots in the arm keep me going. And like, I need those big time some days. Just the tiniest little comment, man. Like, wow, really appreciate your message. Perfect timing. I really needed this. Like, you need it. I need it. It's the reciprocity. We need each other. So let's keep doing life. Let's keep trying to challenge ourselves to what? Just be the best version of you. You don't need all the bullshit. You just need to remove all the bullshit. And then that is when your glow is going to start to really reveal itself. That's what the glow up is, right? We talk about these glow ups. That is glowing up, is the more and more shit, the more and more masks, the more and more costumes and bullshit that you remove from your life, then your trueness is revealed. Everything else is false. With that being said, I send you love. I send you peace. And I appreciate you being a part of this community and listening to this message. I will see you on the next one. You know the drill. Results kill excuses. Transform your sick and tired into optimal and unstoppable. Greg's out.